Welcome to the Summer Reading Showcase brought to you by the Chosen Pen Group, the Conversations with Chosen Pen podcast, and the Amplified podcast with Dr. Anissa Short. During this series, we are showcasing authors of children's books because they understand the importance of reading and literacy with our children today. Be sure to share, like, and even comment. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy the show. Hey, great day, everybody. It is Dr. Anissa Short, the success strategist and the director of the Chosen Pen Group. And I am excited once again to have you here with me as I introduce you to another fantastic author as we continue with the Summer Reading Showcase. Listen, we're down to the wire. I have had the privilege of introducing you to men and women, boys and girls who have authored children's books, and today is no different. And because we are doing this as a collaborative project, by way of the Chosen Pen Group, which is our publishing platform, Conversations with Chosen Pen, which is our podcast platform that focuses on all things literary, and then because of Amplified, another podcast platform that talks to the creatives, the entertainers, and the extracurricular that feeds the culture. I'm excited to be able to say, listen, we're covering all bases across the board, and we've been doing this thing since the first week of July, and we're closing it out this month of August. I have with us today another fantastic guest. Miss Paula Banks is my guest. She was a referral. You know, I love my community, honey, because they look out for me. Paula Banks was one that was referred. I think someone tagged her, or anyway, it's a social media connection. And for those of you who are sleeping on the social media space, if you do it the right way, it can make a significant difference to the quality of your life. It absolutely can. Miss Paula, thank you for saying yes to being a part of this experience. I appreciate having you as a guest today. Thank
you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
I am Paula Banks. I'm a children's book author. I started writing, my first published book was February 2024. And I started with my Peyton's Journey series. And now the series has 4 books. And then I have a book for little boys, Marcus and Big Red's Super Truck Adventure. And I just love creating children's books with characters that look like me when I was a little girl. So that's how it pretty much started.
So tell us why. How did you? I mean, there are a lot of authors. I've interviewed quite a few, as I already stated, and there are some who, I think about, she's written novels, but then she decided to write children's books. Are children's books, has that been your jam, as people say, since day one? And if so, why?
So really it came from being a little girl and never saw myself in books when I was reading the books that I read. Absolutely not one time did I see a character that looked like me. And as time went on and I got older, I realized, like, why are there no characters that look like me? And I told myself, like, when I was a little girl, like, one day I'm going to have a book, write a children's book, and it's going to have characters that look like me. It's going to be a series. And because as I got older, I started reading the Babysitter's Club series. So I love the idea of having a series. And of course, that dream was put off for a very long time. But I finally made it happen. But it came from not seeing myself in books that I was reading, like no characters, no place that resembled where I grew up. It was just none of that. So it really came from that place.
I love that. Representation matters. And that's a point that has been raised in the course of even this series. And I shared this story once before, several years ago. I was a part of an initiative to take books to South Africa. One of the schools that we had built relationship or rapport with has suffered damage to their school library. And so we decided, well, let's just take books. Our goal was to take 1,000 books. We ended up taking 750, but one of our number one objectives was to make sure that there were books that had children in them, characters in them that looked like the children in Africa. So we were very intentional. And Paula, do you know that when those kids got the books, one of the very first things they said was, oh my God, they look like us, which meant they hadn't had books. You know, representation is everything. And so I totally agree with what you're saying. And it's not about it's not about omitting anyone. It's more about inclusion. One of my clients just recently published a book that featured her autistic grandson. And even in writing that book, she added a little girl in the book that was in a wheelchair, another little kid that was on crutch, or they had to wear corrective lenses. She said because she wanted all children to be represented, all the possibilities. That means a lot. How have people received your books, Paula?
They absolutely loved them. They loved the Peyton character with her big, Afro puffs on the
Yeah,
cover. And little girls literally would say, "Oh my God, she has hair like mine. She looks
yeah.
like her color is the same as me." And parents loved it. Like they loved that their child gets excited over a character that looks like them. And I that was my main goal. It wasn't about how many books I sold. Is I never wanted a child to feel like how I felt when I didn't see those characters that
I can
represent.
understand. I love
So
that. I love that. I love that. I love the fact too that you took the initiative. There have been two or three other authors that I have had the privilege of interviewing who talked about looking for a specific type of book or a book that focused on a specific topic, and they weren't able to find it. And that stirred something within them to say, you know what? If I can't find this book, that means I need to write them. And so, there's one lady I made reference to, Dr. Pierce. She wanted to do books that dealt with character, like being brave, being courageous, being honest and things of that nature. And she couldn't find them. So she created her own. So she has this Berry, Beary, and the character is a bear. But the bear is either very courageous, very nice, very kind, that type of thing. So I feel there's a certain you speak to this as they did, is that when we can't find it and we see there's a gap, if there's a need, then rather than complain about what's not available, let's just be the answer.
just do it. I mean, I didn't know how to write it. Like, I didn't know the process of publishing. I didn't know any of that, but I figured it out. And I said, if I can figure out this first book, then whatever I learned, I'll make the second book better. And that's what I did.
That's good.
I enjoy creating stories for children and the illustrations that help the story come alive. I love the
I love
process.
that. I love that. So, in what ways have you marketed the book? Now, let's back up first. Your very first book was when? When did you publish the
Uh,
first?
February 21st, 2024 was my very first book,
Oh my
Peyton's.
gosh! So that's just 2 years ago.
Yeah. That was my first book, Peyton's First Day at a New School. Again, I had no idea what I was doing. It was something that I didn't expect. So real quick, what happened was my sons are older, in their 20s. I've been a mom. They didn't really need me in the same way. And I was figuring out my purpose. So I started praying, God, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And I think I prayed that prayer for like a whole year and nothing. And then one morning, as clear as day, he said, write a book. And I wasn't imagining it. It was real. And I knew it was him. And I
Yeah.
said, you can't be talking to me, because that's what I said to him. And I acted like I didn't hear him, and I just kept on. And then a few weeks later, my husband came out the blue, said, are you going to write a book? If you don't, you're going to regret it. And I was like, Dad, God, you're spinning a block on me. So I was like, oh, fine, I'm going to write this book.
So wait a minute. Had you talked with your husband about? Oh my goodness!
And that's when I knew, like, okay, he's coming back around now.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'll write the book, but he didn't tell me what kind of book to write. He didn't tell me what genre. He didn't tell me anything. It was basically write the book. So I figured it out. A lot of YouTube, a lot of internet, and I did it. The book wasn't the best, but I figured it out. I did it, and everything that I learned from that first book, I put into my second book. And I can say that as soon as I wrote the book and started to do the things and publishing, like everything has changed. Like my life did a 360 from that one, write the book.
I can believe it.
And people always say, oh, you've been doing this for a long year. I was like, no, 2024. And they're like, what? My goal was to get one book out in 2024. And I had two or three. And I was just amazed. I mean, that's just how fast things started to go from that one moment of saying, okay, I'm going to do what you told me to do. And I was obedient. And from that, everything has been different. Like my whole, like I could never imagine this is what I would be doing with my life right now. So, um, yeah, that's just how it all happened. And now I'm here.
Listen, your story has been told. You may not know this, but I've had two or three other authors just like you that say they were told, write the book, and I go, what? Certainly you're not talking to me because I know nothing about publishing. And then they made the decision to follow through, and then everything just kind of fell into place. And now they're in a space. I can very much relate to what you're saying because I wrote my very first book, I think it was 2016, 2017, and I was going to be a one and done. And the lady who became my publishing mentor, Dr. Norma McLaughlin, she told me when I went to her house, having given her my manuscript because I figured she was going to edit it and tell me what I need to change, that type of thing. And she began to say, now your next book is going to be da 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 da, and I really think you should go ahead and put these things in place. And I'm thinking, I think she got me confused because I'm not doing this. I mean, I'm just gonna listen because my mama raised me right. You respect your elders. Just let her finish her spiel, and then you can go home. And now here it is, Paula, 14 books later. Never
Exactly.
would have imagined, right? Everything just fall into place. I commend you. Thank you for being the answer and not just complaining about there being the misrepresentation or there being a lack of representation. You chose to fill in the gap. How have you gone about marketing your book? Let's talk a little bit about that.
So the first book, I didn't do anything. I got it on Amazon and that was really it. So I was like, okay, I want all the bells and whistles for my second book, which was Dream Big, Peyton's Hip Hop Adventure. So what I started to do was I started following certain people on Instagram. And then I would look for like free resources to help me with visibility. So there's a lot of like free online interviews, to get
Mhm.
my name out into the algorithm of Google and just get me out there. So I did a few of those. And then I really started to put together like some kind of, I like to create things. So I was like, okay, I like to work in themes. So I wanted to have like a theme for my marketing. And since the book is her about hip hop and talent shows, I just utilized all of that, integrating, music, fun graphics and things like that on Facebook and Instagram. I created a lead magnet so I can start building my email up. I did some giveaways. Like I did a lot of that. Like my second book, I really put in the work and it was amazing. Like this is my best selling book of all of my books. And it's my favorite book because it is like the first book that I really put out that I felt that I did a great job with it. Like
Yeah,
all the
right.
things I learned went into this book. So I did a lot of. I went on podcasts. I started doing podcasts to get talk about the book. I did a like a what do you call it? Like a book tour, like an online book tour where people
Hmm.
books and they would post about it. So I just did anything that I could do that was budget friendly or free.
Right.
And that's how I started to get my name out there. I would interact on social media, respond. I got into I started to be friendly with other children's book authors. And
Right.
I just learned a lot. Like I picked up things along the way, but my marketing I thought was really fun. I enjoyed creating for the book. And yeah, marketing is I enjoy it just to put something together to promote the book, and it was a fun time. Like
I
I
love
made
it.
yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. I asked that question because oftentimes I work with a lot of authors, especially first time authors, in helping them to get the book published. I serve as a hybrid publisher in that I do what the self publisher would do, but they don't have a clue. So we do it for them, right? So one of the things we discuss, even after the book is complete, is that you must continue to market because you have it on Amazon, because you have a website. No one knows you exist, so you must be present. And I love the fact that you said you found a lot of budget friendly and free 99. events and opportunities to get your name out there, and it made a significant difference. I want you to know I love this Peyton's Hip Hop Adventure book cover. I mean, this book cover. Now, let me. I'm the kind of biased, Paula. I don't want to sound that way. Your first book was Peyton's was First Day of the New School. I love the pom poms. Let me just say that. But this book here, this is your second, and I can tell there. I can see your growth from the first one to the second one. But this one, this baby, I mean, the eyes, the hair, the headphones, you know, the energy, the book cover has a lot of energy. Was that intentional?
I wanted to make sure that, you know, she had her big hair because I love big hair.
Right.
So a lot of Peyton is me as a little girl.
Okay.
So I love big curly hair. I'm always, you know, with my headphones listening to hip hop. So these are just parts of me that I put into the story. And I think that's why this is one of my, you know, my favorite books. But the cover, people love the cover. Like that grabs them and brings them in. They're like, oh,
it really does. It really does. It speaks to the importance of the book cover because the book cover is the first impression. It really is.
Absolutely. So when my illustrator told her my vision, and when she came back, I was like, oh my God, that is it. I absolutely loved it. Like she nailed it. And it shows when I take the book to like, you know, events, people are like, they come because they're just so like, she is gorgeous. And I'm like,
yeah.
So yeah,
here's the series. Here's the series. I wanted everybody to see that. And again, you guys, you can go to her website, Paula Y. Banks. Paula, as it sounds, Paula, the letter Y. And then her last name is banks.com. To learn more about her as a person, as an author, the things she's into, but then the books. Now, here is the series. You did say 3 to Peyton's, the series. Is this correct?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I feel like there's one more. No, you're right. It's 3. It's 3. Because it's a Christmas book. Yes. I have other one that will be coming out in the beginning of 2027.
Okay. So we got Peyton's First Day at a New School, Dream Big, Peyton's Hip Hop Adventure, and then The Secret of the, what is this? The Golden
Blue.
And then that's Peyton's Christmas Adventures. I love this.
I love Christmas.
I love this. I love this.
So I was like, Christmas book because I love my favorite
holiday. That's my favorite holiday. It really is. Now you mentioned a little book about here's Marcus. Yeah, you did a book on a boy. Yes. Let me show that.
I knew that I was doing girls all the time, and I was like, well, right. Boys represent. So I created Marcus and Big Red Super Truck Adventure, and as a little kid, I also like to play with trucks because I had a brother.
Okay.
His toy. So I love to play with like the little Matchbox cars and trucks. So that's how Marcus and the truck came in. So
I love that. I love that. Well, you talked about representation earlier. So we need little boys of color in books as well, just like little girls. So absolutely, I see the parallel there. So what's new? You say you've got a book that's coming out soon. Is that going to be another book for the Peyton's series? Yes. Or okay.
Peyton. This will be centered around anxiety. So I suffer anxiety. And I didn't know what it was growing up. I wasn't diagnosed until I was in my 20s. So I couldn't even imagine how kids who have anxiety and they really don't understand what's going on. So that book will talk about Peyton and her pup wizard, how he is like her, I guess, not her service dog, but like her comfort, how he comforts her. And just talks about her going through anxiety when she's panicking and things of that nature. I wanted for little kids to have a book that they can go to show them that it's normal. It's nothing's wrong with you. A lot of kids suffer with anxiety, and because I did, and I still do. So that will be my next book coming out for the Peyton.
Okay. All right. So you guys, okay, here's the deal. You got to connect with Miss Paula Banks, and the best way to connect with her is to go to this website, right? Because it's everything there that you need to know about the books. And then when her new book comes out, I assume it will be posted there as well. And you already know if she's got 4 books already within a 2-year window. It's just, I can't imagine how many books are going to come out in the next 2 years, right? Because I'm sure there's going to be Peyton, and Peyton may have a best friend coming out, and then Marcus, and Marcus
Well,
going to have a best friend. You just never know what's going to happen.
that's the
Never
beauty.
know.
Is the
It
sky's the
is.
limit. You can just
It
create.
sure is. The only limitations that we have are the limitations we place on ourselves. Now, I see on your website that not only have you done children's books, but you participated or either been a part of an anthology, Moments for Mom. Was that a project that you created, or was that just one you were a part of?
It was one that I'm a part of. I did. My first volume was volume 3. I think I was in volume 4, and now I'm doing volume 5 currently. So
Okay.
the person who actually tagged me in your post was the visionary for Moments for Mom. Um,
Okay.
so yes, that's the anthology that I've done. And outside of children's books, I've written a few other books. But I really miss writing and bringing Peyton to life. So that's why I'm going to drop her book in 2027, first book
I
of
love
20.
that. I love that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Well, maybe not, but
Yes,
you heard it here today. So go to her website, paulabanks.com. The books that she's authored are there. Other information about who she is as a person, what she loves, her platform. If you want to work with her, there's a link there. You have Lit Kids Create. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Lit Kids Create is what I am really focusing on right now. It's a youth voice and creative expression brand that I'm building, and it helps children recognize, that their voice, their ideas, and their stories hold weight. So I have different programs and different workshops that I do. So I have a workshop called Books by Me. So basically, I take students from idea to publishing. So um, this workshop is for kids to really get their ideas out, and just be in a safe place. So Lit Kids Create is really for kids to understand that what their stories matter, that what they say matter, and that their voices are important. So I created Books by Me so they could have a safe space to tell those stories. I partner with the local school district in my area, and I just received a contract to be a vendor for all 52 schools that have access to Books by Me. I finished my first cohort of students in May. They went through 4 weeks of the Books by Me program, and we did their first. I published their first anthology. I got a story to tell, and that is 9 students that are now published authors.
I
Um,
love that.
I absolutely am so excited because it was just like an idea, a dream that I didn't think that was going to come to pass. And then to have the book and hold it in my hand was amazing. And to see the kids just come alive on those 4 weeks and feel comfortable sharing their stories. And then seeing how they were on Amazon, like I made a whole big to do. Like they didn't just like, hey, you have a published book. I had a author release, book signing. Their parents came. It was a big thing. They're on the publishing website as authors, and it's something that I'm so passionate about, and I'm so glad that I'm able to go into the different schools now, and do this for students. And I feel like if a child can see their words written, and they know that they can become an author, they can dream and know that they can become anything. So
I love that. I absolutely listen. I may be talking to you after the show because I've been thinking about doing a camp, or hosting a camp myself in this space. Because one aspect of what I do as a hybrid publisher, we have a flagship initiative I call Books and Bridges, and that's the literacy component. So it focuses more so. It has, I should say, focus more so on getting books in the hands of children, especially children in low income areas or maybe compromised situations. Like the project I'm doing now, this summer reading series, books are being taken to an orphanage, that type of thing. So I'm partnering with other authors to pull together and let's do this thing together. But I've thought about a camp, so I may be picking, I may be calling you, sis, and and I'll pay for my consultative services because I want to implement something the very. And let me tell you something else. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm gonna show it anyway. So here's your lit create. Your voice holds weight. My mantra is your voice has value.
Same it basically is the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I just use it because it's my slang. You know, I say it a lot. Your voice holds weight, or that holds weight.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You know, that is something that it came from me just being a kid and not owning my voice, shrinking in the background. And I brought that to me into adulthood. And I don't want any child to feel like that.
I love that.
If a child feels safe to open up, they have stories to tell. They have things that they want to get out. And if they feel safe and protected and valued, they're more than likely to share those stories.
I do believe that. I love that.
So with Books by Me, I also have the Writing Cipher. So the Writing Cipher is an online self-paced version of Books by Me if you can't attend one of the programs after school. And it takes you through 10 modules, same thing, videos of me teaching. There's, worksheets and just things of that nature. And then at the end, it's the same outcome. If you want your story to be published, you submit it for the anthology, and then we go from there. But some may not want to be around or in the classroom. They want to take their time and do it. So I wanted something for them as well. And I'm excited about building.
And you should be.
Up, and I was just asked to come to Mississippi to speak at a summit, Catalyst Summit, about lit kids. And I'm super excited about
Tell me, when is that? When is that, Paula?
September 20th to the 22nd. It's in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Okay, you're in the coast. Okay, I'm on the total to opposite end of the state.
Yes, so I'm excited about that because.
And you should be. Oh my God, this is so good.
So I applied to be a presenter, not thinking it would happen. I just wanted to go through the process. Thing I knew, they were like, "You're in," and I'm like, "Okay." So I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited because I'm really passionate about it. And
I could tell.
I really want to continue putting out I Got a Story to Tell Volume 2. The grant for one of the schools that I did the initial one, they renewed it. So I'm going back to do another set of students for the second cohort. So I
love that.
Excited about where, it can go, and just creating these spaces for kids and letting them know, like, don't ever shrink. Don't use your voice. Use your voice. You have something to say.
Paula, I am so grateful that this happened the way it happened, right? You have fired up something in me. You will never know. We'll have to talk about that more after the show, but for sure, I want everybody to know how to follow you again, ladies and gentlemen. PaulaYBanks.com. Everything you need to know. Just connect with her there, learn more about her programming, her books. All of this evolved, and I'm sure you didn't see this when you made the decision to write the first book. It's just amazing. Now the question you had to God as to what am I supposed to be doing? Now I believe you have the answer now.
I do have the answer. And it's funny because what he has me doing now is something that I always struggled with my entire life, using my voice.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm like, am I qualified to do this? And he's obviously so, because I'm so passionate about it because I lived it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But I always sit and think, like, the thing that I've always struggled with is the thing that I am out here trying to help other children.
I love it. I love this story. Your whole story. There's a phrase I heard once upon a time that says God doesn't call the qualified, but he does qualify the called. If we just accept the assignment and get busy doing the work, everything falls into place. And you are a beautiful example of that, Miss Paula Y. Banks. I so appreciate. I'm going to be following you. We're connected now for good. And if I can come to that event in Biloxi in September, if I can, don't be surprised if you see me going like, "Hey, girl." I mean, I may just do that. PaulaYBanks.com is how you can find her. She is another beautiful example of what it looks like when you take a passion and have a movement and you make a difference. And of course, this is just another episode of our Welcome to the Summer Reading Showcase. We are closing out this month of August, and I have enjoyed every interview, but this was a great one to close out with for this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. As you know, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central, Conversations with Chosen Pen. On Wednesdays, 12 noon Central, amplified with Dr. Anissa Short. We are syndicated, so not only will you find us on the social media platforms and my YouTube channel, Dr. Anissa Short, you can connect with me on WYAD Radio 94.1 FM, a little small station, inspirational station here in the state of Mississippi, but also the Conversations Radio Network by going to conversationsradio.com. So I will be not only sharing Miss Banks' interview on social media and my YouTube channel, but she will be heard later throughout the state of Mississippi and possibly the world. Who knows? Congratulations on all your success. Thank you again, Miss Banks, for being my special guest. We are connected. We are sisters now. And I will be in touch with you because I really want us to do some things together. Or if there's any way I can help you to serve you. And if I have an event in the future, you're going to be someone I keep in mind for sure. Okay. Anything you want to say as we close out?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you allowing me to come on and tell a little bit about my story and my books, especially what Lit Kids create. So thank you for that. I appreciate.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Make it a great day. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take care.